You know, one of the biggest mistakes that Marvel has ever made, and they've made a few, obviously going along the ways, but to me, the biggest mistake they made, although it was well-intentioned and it was a very, very difficult situation, was when they made the decision to kill off the character of T'Challa, played by the late, great Chadwick Boseman, and kill off the character to coincide with the passing of Chadwick Boseman. I've always thought that was a horrendous miscalculation on their part. I thought the way to honor Chadwick Boseman and the way to best serve the cinematic universe at the same time was to recast the character, bring in somebody to pick up the baton for Chadwick Boseman and carry on the race for him. I always just thought that was the more respectful thing to do. I continue to believe it would have been the best thing for the universe. And personally, I think Black Panther 2 suffered because of that mistake. Now, there has been words going around that they've been looking at recasting T'Challa. Now, whether that means it's going to be a different universe's version or something altogether strange, who knows? But the latest report right now is that DC's Lantern star, Aaron Pierre, may be the one in talks to be the new T'Challa. Now, at least that's the report. This comes just from the folks over at Comic Book Movie who write, leaked concept art from Avengers Doomsday showed a version of T'Challa with F1, the movie star's Damson Idris's likeness. The Russo brothers have claimed that artwork wasn't representative of the movie they're making, but the actor is widely viewed as the current frontrunner. But now there's a new twist, as Daniel Richman is reporting that Marvel Studios has met with actors, including Rebel Ridge and Lantern star Aaron Pierre, to play a new Black Panther in Avengers Secret Wars. All right. Let's start with this. I know there are going to be some people that will already be asking the question, but wait a minute, he's already playing a Green Lantern. He can't also be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe playing T'Challa. Yes, he can. I don't know why so many people in the movie fan community still hold on to this very wrong belief that somehow, some way, if an actor is in a Marvel movie, they're contractually not allowed to be in a DC movie. Yes, they are. Just like The Rock has 18 different movies coming out every year, at least until recently it's felt like that. Just because he's in movies for one studio doesn't mean he can't be in movies for other studios. It is 100% a false myth that if you are in one studio's movies, you cannot be in another's. Just because he is in Warner Brothers DC's Lanterns in zero way prohibits him from being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, just so we're clear about that. But does that mean he is in it? Look, the first thing, I want to touch on here is that there are a number of these internet scoopers and near the top, right? Like guys like Daniel, another one, Daniel RPK, our friend Jeff Snyder. There are some of these internet scoopers right near the top that are never always right. That's, why you always have to take it with a bit of a grain of salt when it's coming from one of these internet scoopers and not the Hollywood Reporter or Deadline or The Wrap or Variety or one of the real big major trades. You have to take it with a grain of salt. So let's put that grain of salt firmly on this as well. But would Aaron Pierre be a good choice? Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. Aaron Pierre would be an absolutely fantastic choice to play a recasted T'Challa if, and there's a big if here, if he is indeed there's any truth to this rumor, and even if the Russo brothers are planning on using T'Challa in Secret Wars. Listen, Rob, one of the things we should mention here is that there are ifs layered on top of ifs, layered on top of ifs, layered on top of ifs in this story. If they're even using T'Challa, if it's the T'Challa we think it is, if they're not just going with a child, if it's our T'Challa we know, or if it's T'Challa from just another universe, if it's, I mean, there's so many ifs here. And so let's just get that out of the way. But theoretically speaking, this guy as a Wakandan warrior, sign me up. Because listen, you know me, the number one thing I look for in any casting is talent. Are they good? This guy's really good. He's a really good actor. And so I am completely on board with him in that way. Then once you got that number one thing out of the way, does he have the look? Does he have the style? Does he have all? I think he could bring all that and more to the character. Am I saying that Aaron Pierre is the guy to play a recasted T'Challa? Not at all. I'm sure there are other guys too. I'm just saying that if at the end of the day, in our ifs on top of ifs on top of ifs on top of ifs, at the end of the day, if we are getting a recasted T'Challa, and if Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers has selected Aaron Pierre to do it, I'm just saying that's a good choice. I'm not saying it's the only choice. I'm not saying there aren't several good choices. I'm just saying I'd be happy with it because I think he's a tremendous performer. Now that brings us back to the question about whether we even think this is legitimate. I'm not really sure I do buy it, to be honest with you. I think Black Panther is a really tough Rubik's Cube for them to solve right now.
I agree.
So I'm not sure I buy it. I'm not completely against the idea, Rob, that they may be looking to use him in Secret Wars. I could see that, but depending on how they're going about it, casting him right now, I have my doubts. I'm just saying right now, Rob, that if it's true, and if Aaron Pierre ends up being our Black Panther, I think that's a very good choice. You could do a lot worse. I think he's a solid guy to do it. And I have zero issues with the fact that he's a Lantern in one studio's movies and a Black Panther. And that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. It means zero drops of piss. It means nothing. So I'm totally good with that. Anyway, Rob, again, the two questions I got to put to you. Number one, where do you see a level of validity to this report? Because I have a hard time buying it, but I don't think it's impossible. But then secondly, putting that aside, how would you theoretically feel about an Aaron Pierre being our new T'Challa / Black Panther?
Well, first of all, my big experience with him has been watching Rebel Ridge, Jeremy Saulnier's Rebel Ridge, and I thought he was an incredible presence. I really liked him. He's got incredible physicality. I love I'm a face person. I love people's faces. He has a great, really expressive face, and I could see him being a killer Black Panther. And if not Black Panther himself, maybe a new Killmonger-esque villain. But I could definitely see him playing that role. I do think they have to bring T'Challa back. It's going to be interesting to see if they decide to make a new Black. Ryan Coogler is supposedly working on a new Black Panther film, but would that be post Secret Wars? Because that would be a reassembling of the Marvel Universe. Essentially, after Secret Wars, it's a reboot. So you could really do anything you want, I would imagine. And that would be a perfect way to resurrect T'Challa if you wanted to do that. So I think absolutely, for sure, probably. I don't know if they're going to do what they did between Doomsday and Secret Wars, like when they did Infinity War and Endgame. You had Quantum Mania and Captain Marvel come out between those two films. I don't know if they're going to do that. I have no idea what Marvel's planning. We'll talk about that later, but I think it's a great idea, dude. I'm in. Count me in. What's wrong with that?
And I got this coming out this year. You can absolutely have you can have a guy appearing in multiple movies, no problem. Again, I just watched a late night show the other night where they had a guy on. He's literally had 3 movies coming out next year, and he talked about all of them. You can 100% promote multiple projects at once. Actors do it all the time. Actors don't just appear in one Sony movie and that's it. They can only then be in Sony movies. They're always out there promoting multiple films. It's not an issue. It is absolutely zero
Totally
issue.
agree.
So I don't think there's a problem with it. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Now, I'm a little bit dubious about the legitimacy of the report. Just being honest, I don't really think this is true. But theoretically speaking, if it were true in theory, I'd be all for it. I think he's a great choice. There are some other great choices out there too, but I think he'd be fantastic as well. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.